Who's watching? Who's watching me? 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 Who's watching? Who's watching?
Hi, and welcome to Kingdom Combat Championship. This is the Nations Collide, Team England versus Team Spain. I'm joined by my co-commentator tonight, Brett Baker. How are you, Brett?
I'm all good, Paul. Ready for this. How about you, mate?
Oh, mate, I'm excited. I mean,
Buzzing.
this is the first time we're doing this pre-show. If you're on our YouTube, welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe as well. Yeah, it's we're taking it up. You know, this is only the 5th show. This isn't a numbered show, by the way. It's got to be, this is not a numbered show. This is just part of the international series that we will be doing. So this is the first of many to come.
England versus Spain. Full team from England, full team from Spain. They've come over here. They're here to get the job done. But the question is, how's it going to pan out? I don't know. I've never seen this before. A full country versus another country on a show like this. I am super excited because there's people on here I've never seen fight before, you know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the British talent is stacked on this card, but I do believe we will see a few Spanish upsets tonight.
Oh, yeah, of course. And at the end of the day, like we've always said about these international fights, one of the coolest things is the meta changes between countries. So the way that the English fighters all present themselves and they act and they fight in the cage, it's usually different when you get people from a different place. And that makes it exciting fights because, like, these people, they don't train with each other. They don't see each other all the time at tournaments. They're probably not following each other on Instagram all the time. So when they get in there, it really is raw. And whatever happens is really organic, and it makes for a good fight.
Yeah, and I think what was also a nice part about what is, because obviously there's so many different gyms on this card, but you're uniting for Team England. So all the English guys, for a change, you know, a lot of the Liverpool gyms will be coming together tonight, you know, as a unit to be a part of Team England. They want to beat the Spanish guys. And the other thing that we were talking about before was that these Spanish guys, because we might not necessarily know a lot about them, it's dangerous for the English guys because there's not really a lot to take to prepare.
Yeah, of course. Like when we were taking notes before the show, as always, being professional as ever, we were just saying, well, we don't really know much about these guys from Spain because you got to think, like, we watch these guys fighting from England all the time. And the atmosphere in here is massive because it's like you say, it's gym versus gym. Yeah. It's like a little tribe versus a little tribe, and they all know each other. They all live down the road from each other. But now it's like a relative unknown. And all these little tribes have got to actually come together. And I think we are going to expect, I always say fireworks, but I think the atmosphere is going to be insane.
Yes.
Insane because it's like cohesiveness now, you know what I mean? It's Team England. It's Team England, so people have got to band together.
Well, I was at the weigh-ins yesterday, and the atmosphere at the weigh-ins was pretty intense. I mean, there were a few issues, so a few fights just to let you know. So the Ben Kiffin fight, the Ben Kiffin title fight, that's not happening anymore. There were a few issues with that, so that's not happening. And then also Jack Dunleavy, he's not fighting either. There's some issues with the visas of his opponents. So those are 2 fights that have fallen from this card, but nothing taken away. You know, what's going on. I mean, the whole card is stacked. And I think the one thing that we can take from the Spanish team is last time out, we had 2 guys from Barcelona MMA that fought on the card. And even though the result didn't go their way, they were not walkover fights. They were difficult fights.
Those guys come to a fight. Like, let's not forget it. Like, if you're going to travel to another country to put, like, leather on face, you're going to have a scrap. You've got to have some serious, not only, like, bravery, but you got to be up for it. And those guys were seriously up for it. And I enjoyed watching them fight. Like, we had Ossie and Gil, and he's nice and light on his feet, moving around. And then the opposite, on the other end, it was like a real brawl, like, big grappling exchanges, lots of ground and pound. Those guys seriously came to win.
And I think, you know, because it's the whole, you know, they're traveling from a different country, it's the whole feel of almost like a professional fight. I mean, we're talking about amateur fights here. I mean, Kingdom, considering this is the 5th show that we guys have done, I mean, this is incredible. No one's doing what they're doing. And to build a platform like this, to have stuff like this already going on, I think just levels up the magnitude and the pressure of these fights. I mean, of course, any fight you're going to have, at amateur or professional, you're going to have your own pressures that come with it. But when it's a nation versus nation, when it's a whole team flying over, it's almost like the Champions League, if you like.
Yeah,
you know, it's completely different.
I absolutely agree, because some of the amateurs we've got are some of the best from the Northwest on this card. It's like a full lineup of who's who. And there's loads of amateurs on here who are seriously ranked. So they put in a lot on the line to fight somebody from another country. And because it's their European rankings now. It's not just the UK ranking, it's not just the Irish ranking. It's the European ranking that's going to come into this as well.
Yeah.
So for me, like, as a commentator, I have the best job in the world anay. As you know, Paul, we just get to sit and watch fights.
We are very, very privileged.
But this is something that you don't get to see very often, especially like sort of on an amateur stage, because these these people seriously train hard. They give their entire lives to fighting. And the level of amateur now is so high. They deserve these sorts of opportunities. And I think we deserve it too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, like you're saying, I think the whole feel of it, you know, the pre-show that we're doing, like the build-up for an amateur fight like this, it also helps the guys because you then don't have the situation where you've built up an amateur career where you fought on small shows. Because you see it sometimes when guys are used to fighting on smaller shows with not a lot of production, and then, you know, their pro career starts, and then all of a sudden they're on a Bellator or they're on a PFL or UFC. The jump is massive. So for the fighters to get used to the media coverage and all the other bits and bobs that surround it, I think it can actually help the fighters for the future. And also, let's be honest, I mean, we're going to see more pro fights on Kingdom going forward in the future, but to have this already built up, I mean, it's even just great for the promotion of Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think what you get with Kingdom, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here, I'm saying this because I've looked at like I've been to gazillion fight shows, is it's like an unwavering like determination to keep everything succinct and have good, well-matched fights of good amateurs. It's not like wishy-washy, 20 pro fights and 20 amateur fights. It's like a well-packaged thing where the production's good. No, we talk about the production all the time, but like the matchups are good. So if you're fighting on Kingdom, you know you're gonna be able to like get tested, battle test your skills, and you know you're gonna get like an opportunity to like rise and shine, to prove your worth, to show you and develop as a fighter. Because at the end of the day, like being a fighter in this day and age, it's not just going out there and scrapping. You have to be able to like adapt and learn how to brand yourself and be comfortable having people like us commentating over your fights or people like a big audience watching you. And what I think is really cool is a lot of these people are hometown fighters. So most of Team England on here are from this area. So it's going to be even cooler because they get to fight in their own backyard. Yeah, which definitely is not always common.
I agree completely. I mean, when we're talking about the matchups, I think we've got to give full credit to Gav Melia, you know, one of the guys that completely runs Kingdom, because the one thing that he's so assertive on is he doesn't want walkover fights. I mean, there's nothing worse than paying to watch a show or going to a fight show where you're basically having fights that you know who's going to win and who's going to lose before the fights even happen. Yeah,
it's always well matched up. And what I am going to miss today, though, and I will admit, is it's like the little rivalries between gyms. It reminds me of a less turbulent, like whenever Brazilian top team fought shooter box back in the day, and it's like, oh wow, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? And you get that when you get like all the local gyms combating against each other. So I am going to miss that, but you know, England versus Spain, it's a good swap.
I still think there will be some form of a rivalry because obviously, like I said, if we expect some Spanish results, there are going to be some gyms who, you know, their guys might not win. So you're going to want to make sure that it's your gym that at least gets the wins.
Yeah. Well, end of the day, like if you're a fighter, you're competitive anyway. Yeah. Like that's what it's all for. I always tell like young fighters starting out, like people are in it for the competition. They love the competition. So the competition sometimes it goes further than just like, did I win? Sometimes like, oh, did we get more wins than them? Or who landed the most like head kicks? You know what I mean? Who got the most takedowns? And I kind of love that energy when like you get folk bringing that because it makes our job miles easier. Because we see what we call, right? Yeah, for sure. And we're going to see some like really electric stuff. And I'm expecting, like looking at people on this card, we've got people on there who like Eve, coming off a big knockout.
I was going to say Eve. I mean, he's someone that I wanted to mention obviously before the title fights because you know we were just talking about you know the stage that this sets for people, and these shows are set for people to show up and to rise to the occasion. This is the platform that you want to be on to get a chance to make a name for yourself, build some hype, and someone like Eve is doing that perfectly. I mean, tonight he'll be walking out with a rapper. Oh, sick! He's the only one that's doing that, and it's just these small moments where he's understanding the moment, he's understanding what to do to keep. Because obviously we've got 5 title fights, so. You know, let's be honest, a lot of the talk will be around the 5 title fights. So he's found a way to, how can I stand out? What can I do to still have people talking about him? And look, we're talking about him right now. Yeah, with the way that guy fights, people are going to be talking about him anyway. One-punch knockout power, One-punch knockout power, like, unreal power. When he caught that kick last time, I was speaking to him earlier, that was all part of the game plan. Yeah. It was all part of the game plan, and, you know, he disguised it really well. He set it up, got boom, straight down the line. We've got a lot of like people on like looking at this card. We've got a lot of people with some excellent finishing capabilities. So you got Jack Axworthy, Billy Adams, like Charlie Balmer. You've got loads of people in here. You look at that and you go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
We should, I mean, we don't want to throw the commentator's curse out there too much. 'Cause I think last time we had 2 finishes in the first fight. So I was like, oh, I can see every finish being this fight now. And then it was like 2 straight decisions after that. So, but I do think that we are in for a night of complete just stars showing out. And I just really think that a lot of people are going to rise to the occasion and put on a performance. So should we run through the title
I was just going to
fights?
say, let's run through the fights. Yeah.
So in the title fights, like I said, we've got 5 title fights, 2 European titles, and the 3 are the Nations Collide titles. So we've got Tom Harvey versus Killian Pitta for the flyweight belt. We've got Ali Sahaiki versus Ayman Zakini for the bantamweight belt. Jack Axworthy is fighting Matias Giordano, who's fought on Kingdom before, and that's for the European title at bantamweight. Billy Adams versus Dorian Jimenez. That's going to be a fantastic fight. I mean, at the weigh-ins yesterday, Billy Adams and Dorian, they were going back at it. I mean, hands down, that was easily there was no animosity like those two yesterday. Like they were both gearing for it. I mean, Billy Adams, and do you know what I've got to say? Billy Adams obviously, I'm sure that he would have struggled like for a weight cut like everyone does, but he just looked so thick, so not drained. Like he just seemed so filled out for someone that was cutting weight. So
yeah, I don't know.
I'm expecting him to come and be even bigger today, which will obviously play into his favour. And then obviously we've got Jordan Rutherford.
Yeah, man.
Who fought last time against Lionel Brito. And this is Jordan's first opportunity at a European title. I mean, he's such a good guy, Jordan. You know, this has been a long time coming for him. And then obviously the main event, Scott Johnson versus Alberto Del Campo. That's the pro fight. That's not a title fight.
Well, I've got to say, like, we've seen some massive improvements through some of these guys as well. Like, talking about Jordan Rutherford, we've watched him more than once on Kingdom. And I'll tell you something about Jordan, what I'm really impressed with. He gets better as the fight goes on.
Yes.
You can tell, like, he's got a lot of, like, he's got his finishes in the 3rd round, a couple of finishes in the 3rd round. He just seems to, like, start moving. And it's almost like it gets a snowball effect. He just gets bigger as the fight goes on. He just gets more momentum. And I love to see that because I think this is going to play out. Because don't forget, this is 5 rounds.
Yeah.
It's not 3 rounds.
For sure.
Somebody who gets better through the fights is scary over 5 rounds because it's not like you just got to weather the storm. You're just going to keep improving, and you got to keep up. You've got to keep up because a lot of young fighters, they can sort of blow themselves out in that first round and a half, and then it gets to this 3rd round, and it's like, oh, let's just get through the 3rd round. When you're fighting Jordan, and he's been working hard on his conditioning, I know that for a fact, he's going to be ready for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And he's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger.
I think the thing with Jordan as well, like I said, he's been around the game for a while. And the fact that this is his first opportunity, you know, he's had a lot of experience now under his belt, so it's not like he's coming in for the first time. Like, he's got a lot of experience, which should help him in a title fight. I mean, that's one thing that really sets people apart in title fights is the experience and the composure.
Yeah.
And I think because of how long it has taken him for him to get an opportunity like this, I mean, I was speaking to him yesterday, he seemed just so zen, so focused, so ready for his moment. I think that plays into his favor. I really think that, you know, everyone has their own timing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, everyone has their own timing and their own path, and I believe Jordan Rutherford tonight could be his night.
And what about, completely agree. What about his teammate? We've got Jack Axworthy. Looks like it could be his last amateur fight.
Yeah, 8-0.
8-0, taking on Matias Giordano. We watched him last time.
Yeah, great fighter as well. I mean, he's another one out of MMA Barcelona. And like I said, these guys that were from Barcelona MMA last time, they came to fight. And Jack Axworthy, we know he always comes to fight. You know, he's a character, he's a loudmouth. And like I said, we were talking about moments, you know. I think the stage should be set. Even though he's not the main event, he could arguably be the main event tonight.
Yeah, but you've got to give it to, like, Matias here. He's a tough kid. Like, I went through his, I was obviously doing a bit of research, you know, because I'd watched him fight, but I want to know more about the guy. He's got a couple of wins in a tournament fashion, you know.
Yeah.
So that shows to me just some serious grit and toughness to be able to win more than one fight.
For sure. For sure. I think the one thing that I noticed when I was watching him and doing my research was that his striking isn't that bad. Obviously, he's a grappler, but he sets up his striking for the wrestling so nice. And the one thing that he'll look to be doing is definitely, he'll be looked to taking the back.
Yeah, of course. Especially
his
like
back take is very, very good.
Yeah.
And if he can take Jack to the ground, I mean, obviously we know Jack's a striker. He's been at Aspire, training his jiu-jitsu, but let's be honest, Jack's stand-up is his bread and butter. So
well, you know,
I think that'll be the difference in this fight.
Yeah, you know, you dance with the girl that took you there, you know. If he's a striker and he's getting his wins by knocking people out, he's not just going to start pulling guard, is he?
No.
I should hope not anyway. But, like, he's not going to start pulling guard. But that's styles make fights. And I reckon that is going to be like a bit of a classic striker versus grappler fight.
Definitely. Billy Adams, like I said, that yesterday was... I mean, everyone could see You know, everyone that was at the weigh-in, everyone could see the whispers. You know, there was a lot of tension between the two. Obviously, friendly, healthy competition. Let's be honest. I'm sure there's also a bit of bad blood there as well. But you know, he's 3-1 now, Billy Adams. He's fighting out of Trident and Aspire, looking to get another belt under his name.
Probably another knockout as well. You know, he's got that big amateur boxing background, and he's got some. I said this last time. The kid is seriously fast.
Yeah.
I don't know why he don't call himself Billy the Kid. I don't know. But he's
That's a good
so
nickname, Billy the Kid.
he's so fast off the
Yeah.
draw. Because it's like for every punch that you throw, he's thrown 2.
Well, he's almost
Yeah,
he's almost a Kingdom vet now as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's fought on Kingdom 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
All 3 of those fights were all first-round TKOs.
Because it's just speed. And it's the speed with power. Sometimes you get the speed without the power, but, you know, I don't want to get punched by him. And luckily, I don't have to.
No. So I think we are ready for our first interview. So we are going to do a few split interviews. So Brett's going to interview some people. I'm going to interview some people. First off, we have got Lewis Lever. So Brett, I'm going to leave this to you.
Yeah, man.
Enjoy your first interview.
Yeah, Paul.
Lewis, come through here, mate.
Here we are, Lewis. How we doing, mate?
Sam, it's you.
Sal, mate. Yes, good to see you. Last time I saw you, you were taking a dominant victory in there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, smashing it. So, like, first thing I want to ask you, really, man, is you've already fought somebody from Barcelona MMA. Like, what do you think to like this entire team coming over from Spain?
Yeah, it's good. It's different. And I think it's the first time a show's ever done this. Like a whole different country coming over to fight at another country. So it's good. Like.
And as a fighter, do you think like the opportunity to fight international competition early on in your career, do you think that's like sets you up for success later on in the pro ranks?
Yeah, I think it is, because when you're in the pro, like you're going around the world fighting, aren't you? So and then like different countries, like they might know stuff that you don't know. So it is
Exactly,
good.
yeah. Well, talking about things like you might know things people don't know, you've done a lot of competitions with your grappling circuit as well, and it was clearly on display when you fight. You've got that dominant, like when you were catching kicks, big cross, takedown. I love that style. How much do you think like your ability to stay active in the other like combat sport realms has helped your success in MMA?
Yeah, it's been good. This staying active it's like a big thing for me. Like keeping your name, like having everyone talk about you, like getting you more popular in that. But yeah, everything I've done, it's been good. Like getting my style into one.
Yeah, like it helps you get like moments in like just pure grappling without having to worry about the strikes or the striking, without worrying about the grappling. But like. It's something you've been doing your entire life, right? Yeah. Martial arts. Is it 5 you started?
I started when I was 4.
Started when you were 4?
Yeah.
Wow, what were you doing then?
Started off with boxing in Highton.
Oh, nice. And then just slowly, did you always know you wanted to do MMA?
Well, my dad done a little bit, and a little bit of sailing. And then one day I went to the gym with him, and then kept on going back, and then, yeah, just wanted to carry on.
Yeah, man, like that's a great way. It's an organic way of doing it. Yeah. Did you know from the moment you started, though, did you know you were going to be hooked?
Not really. I think I was a bit nervous going all the time. Like, it was a bit new. Like, I was just a kid, but I think after about a year, I think that's when I knew.
Well, that's it, bro. Born, bred fighter.
Yeah.
So you can expect to see more of Lewis Lever, because honestly, man, he's so young, but the kid's got some serious talent, so keep an eye out. Cheers, bro.
Sam, thank you.
Cheers.
Nice one.
I'm here with Dean Garnett.
What's
How
up,
are you,
mate?
brother? You good?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I think best off to starting. You got 10 fighters fighting tonight.
It was meant to be 10 winning. We did
Oh, it
lose.
was 9 with yeah.
We lost Jack Dunny. Yeah, it's almost Aspire versus Spain, to be honest. So yeah, but this is what we like to do. We like to put a lot of guys on cards and try and be as busy and active as we can with the amateur team. It's served us well so far. We're bringing people through quick, and you know, I don't think it's common to see shows with such a strong, with such a strong, you know, standing on shows. So, no, another good night in the office for us, I'm expecting.
What do you think about Kingdom now? So obviously you've been around Kingdom for the last few shows. This is the time that we've leveled it up, an international show, like you said. What do you think of how things have gone so far, compared to obviously other shows that are around?
Well, I think obviously there are some real good, you know, good calibre pro amateur shows in the UK at the moment. But a lot of them shows have been around for a long time. I don't think there's a show that's as new as Kingdom that's you know, making as much noise as these guys are. And I think certainly the level of production, the matching of the fights, you know, even just this whole English Spain sort of just trying to stand out really, aren't they? And I think they're doing an amazing job. They're probably the fastest growing grassroots promotion at the moment, I'd imagine, in the UK. So good on them.
Let's talk about Jack Axworthy. It
Yeah.
could be his last amateur fight tonight. He's 8-0, looking to win another belt. You know, where do you see this fight going tonight, and what do you think the future holds for him?
I think Jack's just such a big prospect. I think obviously he's a great striker, but we look at the sort of showmanship he brings to his fights. In terms of his ability to perform, he's second to none. I think like he's one of them guys. If you're in the corner, you know he's turning up. He's not going to have a bad day when he's fighting. So he's a massive prospect, mate. I think he'll dictate where the fight goes. He is working on his wrestling, so hopefully he shows a bit of that tonight as well. But definitely someone who's ready to you know, launch into the pro game now.
I love to hear it. Jordan Rutherford, he's another guy, you know, he's been in the fight game for a while. We were speaking last weekend, and, you know, it's nice to see him finally get a shot. Hard earned, you know, he's earned that with blood, sweat and tears, quite literally. I mean, what do you think of his fight tonight?
Look, I think Jordan's one of the hardest working guys you'll meet. He wants it, you know, more than anyone. Sometimes he wants it too much. I have to tell him he's trying too hard. But he's definitely earned a fight like this tonight. I think the guy's fighting's got pretty decent boxing, but I really fancy Jordan to be able to match him on the feet and dominate him in the grappling. So, you know, I'm expecting Jordan's best performance. I'm hoping he's going to find a bit more composure in his game, especially after the last win. Should have a bit more confidence in his hands as well, mate. So, yeah, let's go, Jordo.
Any final closing words for your team?
Look, mate, this is honestly just business as usual for us. You know, everyone was on weight, everyone's well prepared. I think all the fights are well matched. You know, we've got 9 fights. I'll be expecting 7 or 8 wins tonight. So let's see how we get on.
Perfect. Well, Dean, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that.
See you.
No worries. Everything all right, mate, yeah? Say everything.
Which one are you?
JP, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's good. Yeah. Yeah, man, I was commentating your last fight as well.
Yeah, you did, Ryan Bain, yeah.
Yeah, good fight.
I've got a little special something for this one as well. So.
Guys, and we are back. We've got JP, Cody. How we doing, bro?
Lad, you're all right? You're okay?
Yeah, smashing. Oh, I'm super excited for
For
you.
my one, can't wait myself, lad. I've got a little special something for him. So, hard work's done. Now for the fun side, lad.
Yeah, fun side, and also like you're Kingdom vet now.
Yeah.
You know, this is your cage.
That's it,
You
mate.
ready to make a statement?
Yeah, I'm ready to take over the gaff like I did last time. And mate, honestly, I just can't wait to go. I wanted to go in the last one, but obviously the lads were cage warriors, so they had their own little fights and that. But now I'm on this and proper happy they got me on it. So it's time to do business as usual.
Nice. What do you think of the format? Like entire Team England?
Spot on, mate.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the production and everything, it's spot on. Lad, I can't speak highly enough. And that's what I mean. I can't even say much because how Wiley, it's just the top show. And honestly, mate, like I was buzzing to get on the shoot. They asked me to get on. I was like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, straight on.
Right on it.
Well, that's it, man. Like you come to fight, you're always putting a good show.
Yeah.
And there's two of you guys from Next Gen as well.
Yeah, me and Kaya, yeah.
Both back to back. Does it feel different that you're on Team England now rather than because you're on Team Next Gen?
Yeah.
But it's always like Team Next Gen versus Team Aspire versus Team
Yeah,
Trident.
yeah.
Does it feel different that you're kind of all on one
fight
team
to
now?
fight, I'm just focused
Yeah.
on the fight. Like, I'm happy
Yeah.
that I'm fighting for England and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, it's nothing personal. They're just in the way of what's mine. So, like I said, if it's Team England or not, I'm there to do a job. So I'm here to do a job for England. So that's what I'll
Professional
do.
mindset,
Yeah, of
yeah,
course, mate,
professional
yeah, that's
mindset.
it.
Anything specific you've been working on in camp, like leading up to this, or is it a secret?
Do me, lad, just focus on me. I'm not focused on what he's got his own skill set, and that's that. But I know me, and I know what I'm going to do in that octagon tonight. So I'm just focused on me and ready to put on a show. I've got a little special something
Nice.
for him.
Have you watched tape on him? Have you been
Seen a
studying?
little bit, but like I said, lad, I don't care what he's going to do. I just know what I can do, and that's as soon as I get in and start showing me traps and all stuff like that. And when he throws a shot, I'm not going to be there, and I've got a little something special for him. So got plenty of weapons in my arsenal, so I'm ready for this.
Super professional mindset, bro.
Course,
I'm
mate.
really excited. So yeah,
Thank you.
keep an eye out for JP later on.
Oh,
If you're on the
thank
live
you.
stream,
Ta.
cheers, bro.
Ta.
Smash
Ta.
it,
Ta.
smash it, yeah.
Ta, mate.
We're back again, like magic, like we never left. Jack, Donny, brother,
Yeah.
how's things?
Yeah, good, you know. Well, being better, like a bit wounded, but happy to be here nonetheless.
So, as we've just announced on the show, so your fight fell through in the last couple of days. So we had some visa issues with the first opponent, and then I think you were matched again, but then there was issues with injuries with that guy as well. So just kind of run me through this week for you. Like, how did things go, and how did you hear the news, and obviously how did you feel?
Yeah, well, I started fight week like any other fight week on waterload and like cutting weight. But this was on Saturday, so well, Saturday I got told about my first opponent, so I was like on no carbs and that. I weren't waterloading yet, but I got told in the night. Do you know what? I didn't even get told. Dean just messaged me saying you've got a new opponent. I don't think he bothered telling me because he just know how to fight anyway. You know what I mean? He just messaged me saying this is your new opponent. I just said yeah, sound. So that was all right. It weren't too stressful. That. And then I started fight week like normal, started my waterload. And then halfway through the week, I got rang by Dean on Wednesday. So, and he just said it's not good, your fight's cancelled. And the way he put it across to me was like, there's no hope for it, you know what I mean? Like usually if there's like, if you get a pull out and there's hope, what they do is like he'll ring me saying, your opponent's pulled out but we're looking. But he just said your fight's off because, yeah, he just said my opponent, something's happened with my opponent, I'm not too sure.
Well, like I just said to you, mate, you know, there's things that you can control and that you can't control, and this seems like it's one of those opportunities. I mean, obviously, you had a tough fight last out, but like you said, I think it'd be good to, you know, rest up, recover. You know, I'm sure you're going to be back. You're a prospect, mate. I know that you've had a bit of a tough time recently, but you've got a bright future ahead of yourself. You're only young, so keep at it, mate, and I'm sure we'll see you back in there.
Yeah, 100%.
My guy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, bro. Nice one, Jonathan, lad. So, we're back again. I hope you've enjoyed our musical chair scenario. It's been pretty fun swapping seats a few times.
Yeah, I did. It's nice to speak to everybody,
Yeah.
get some insights.
I don't know whether you've been able to tell on the stream, but we have actually seen some fighters start to trickle in now. So all the fighters are getting ready. The fight meeting soon. So, you know, the vibe will start coming together again.
The air is
Yeah.
changing. It gets a little bit thicker. And then you can start feeling that, like, excitement.
Everyone's just itching to go. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everyone's just like, oh, well, I almost swore them. But
Yeah.
everyone's kind of saying, you know, like, okay, when you get here, get warmed. I just want to get in the cage now. That's all it is. Just
Yeah,
want to get business done.
Well, that's the thing. You train so hard for so long. You're sort of not many amateurs have like camps per se, but everybody gets stuck in. They start watching tape. They start learning, setting the traps up, and then the weight cut. When it's fight day, the hard work's done. This is time to have fun, and it's almost like you sat waiting.
Especially
waiting.
amateur, might I
Yeah.
add as well. Like that's one thing that I want to say. You know, obviously, professionals, you know, you have to have that seriously. But I think with amateur,
Yeah.
even though they're big fights, it's your amateur career, man. You're never going to get it back. And these are the moments where, I mean, even at professional, you should still have an can't speak today, you should still have an element of enjoying it. So that's
just
important
soak
to know.
it in.
Yeah,
Soak it in because at the end of the day, like, it's your time to shine now. It's all about you. When that cage door shuts, it's all about you and your opponent. Nobody else is in there with you, so you may as well enjoy it. You may as well get the most out of it. And, like, to be fair, that's why people do it. You know, that's why all these fighters do it. We've just been speaking to them, and speaking to the coaches. You get that vibe straight away. Like, they'd rather be nowhere else in the world right now but here. And that makes it excellent for everybody watching at home, for us, for all the production staff, because it's just like a big festival, but with some punches.
With some punches, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically, guys, that's the pre-show. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. This is the first time we're doing this, but this is definitely not the last. We're going to be doing this for every show going forward. So, Kingdom doing it best like no other. We're going to wrap this up. So, tonight, 4 p.m., that's when the first fight starts. So 4 p.m. is the first fight. The first 2 fights will be live on YouTube. So if you stay on the stream, you'll get to watch the first 2 fights. If you're not in Liverpool, or if you want to watch more than the first 2 fights, but you're not in Liverpool, don't worry, we've got you. Go to Kingdom Combat Championship. Go to the Instagram. There's a link on there. It will take you to the pay-per-view stream. You can buy that, and you won't miss out on all these fantastic fights that we've got to offer
Well, that's it. Get on it, guys. Support the fighters, support the scene, and support UK MMA.
Make sure you tune in 4 p.m. the first 2 fights. Like I said, live, free on YouTube. The rest will be on pay-per-view, so buy that stream. Make sure you support your fighters. 5 title fights, guys. 2 European titles, 3 Nations Collide. Nations Collide, Team England versus Team Spain. Not being done by anyone apart from Kingdom. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you follow us. And let's get straight to the business. Take care and see you soon.
Who's watching me? Who's watching? 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 Who's watching me? watching me. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Who's watching? Who's watching me? 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 Who's watching?